Hey guys, it's Rockingtheblade here. Once again, what's up everybody? I know it's been a while, and I want to apologize. Just lately, been kind of dealing with a little bit of depression because I'm obviously broke because I'm not working at Disney right now because the code C. Um, Good news is they're opening up back in July. So that's some good news. But still, for the rest of this month, I'm still going to be broke until I'm having some personal problems with my income tax check and my unemployment check. Hopefully will come within next week, maybe. But other than that, I haven't gotten anything. Apparently, I'm not the only one being affected by this, so that's why I've been lacking in motivation in terms of videos. I've been getting also kind of insomnia, having a hard time sleeping. But when I do pass out, I do get enough sleep. So that's the good news. Is this getting to sleep is the problem. Because of this, I think once things swing back to normal, I should hopefully break out of it. Hopefully. So that's why there's haven't been videos well over a week, and I apologize. I'm only one guy, and so let's talk about something positive. Let's do a positive video. And there's a lot of negativity out there, such as the C virus and then the riots, because what happened with unfortunate death of George Floyd. So let's talk about something positive. Let's talk about on the title screen about Sega, and why I believe, in my opinion, Sega is the hot new developer / publisher or whatever they are to look out for, because ultimately Sega in recent years showed that they are back with a vengeance. I know what you wonder. I bet you're wondering, what do you mean? Well, back in the 90's, during the Sega Genesis and SNES era, that was the original console war, believe it or not. Before the current one we have with PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, that was more between Xbox and PlayStation, and Nintendo's kind of just doing its own thing. Nintendo was in the war with Sega, with the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, and they were just competing with each other. That's arguably Sega's best system besides the Dreamcast. Of course, Nintendo, that's arguably one of their best systems besides the N64, Wii, and then Switch. Even GameCube, you could argue. A lot of their systems, I mean, the only really system that was kind of not all that great was, unfortunately, the Wii U, due to lack of third-party and first-party support. I mean, it was first-party support, but not enough to really help the system be a powerhouse. But, like the Switch is. But thankfully, with the Switch, they turned it around. Excuse me. So, it's been crazy how, with time, things changed. And of course, obviously, Nintendo ended up winning the war because, unfortunately, with the Dreamcast, that was the last system from Sega, though, funny enough, they went out with a bang with that system. But I haven't made anything like that since. Excuse me, got the sniffles. Allergies. Anyway, so what happened during, I want to say, between the Xbox 360 and Wii era, Sega was kind of struggling from for every Sonic generation and colors. There was Black Knight, Sonic Unleashed, and of course the infamous Sonic 06. So there was hit and miss in that generation, and plus Sega not really utilizing their other famous properties, and they were struggling for a while. It's funny, I saw this meme back, Sega back in the 90's, there was a lot of stuff, but Sega nowadays are like, boo, you suck. Sega, but I want to say within the last 3 to 4 years, Sega has been killing it, and I think it's about time we acknowledge it. I know people say, "Oh, Sega, all they're known for is Sonic, and that's all they good for. That's all they know how to make. Even then, that's hit and miss." That's not the case these recent years. These recent years, they have not only show they can make they can make anything, they can make stuff beside great stuff besides Sonic, but brought back some old properties and show they still know what they're doing. Unlike Konami, yeah, I'm looking at you, Konami. Ugh. So let's start off how the redemption started. To me, in my opinion, it really all started with Yakuza 0. Because Yakuza was a kind of a cult following game at that point. It was a hardcore. People know about it, but it wasn't like a mainstream, like kind of like how it is now. Because technically, Yakuza 0 opened that door. It's because, I think that's the perfect thing to do, in my opinion. If you want to, like, introduce new fans, not really with, like, a sequel or the prequel. Because a sequel is essentially a continuous, a sequel that, you have to play the other games to kind of understand what's going on. Granted, there's, like, within those games, they have, like, a recap to kind of catch you up. But it's one of the things better to experience it than just to watch a recap. But I think the best thing to do is to do a prequel to get new people like me in. So I said, it was on sale for like $40 on GameStop. I said, why not? Let me go give it a try. And it was $40 well spent. It got me into the franchise. I love Yakuza 0. It was amazing. It was an amazing game, amazing combat system, incredible story, incredible characters. Wow, it was so damn good. I mean, Yakuza is just wow. It's like they built off Shenmue and did something amazing with that type of art style, engine, and gameplay. It took it to a whole new level, and they've just been building up on it since. And since that came out, it was a big hit, even in the States too. So people are demanding a remake. So the first one was Yakuza Kiwami, which I also played. And again, like with 0, it's great. And not only that, it connects to the 0 perfectly. So it's like a beautiful way to start. It was a beautiful way to get into the franchise, and it connects perfectly to Part 1. It was great. I really, really enjoyed Part 1 a lot as well. Beautifully done. And of course, Part 2, people demanded that Part 2 be released. They did that as well. And before you know it, people want 3, 4, and 5, which are all released in a package in HD. So now you can experience all the Yakuza games in full HD 4K glory. So now they're all here in the States finally. So now finally Yakuza has become a mainstay. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, so that's the first thing. Yakuza being a big franchise hit. But then the next move was they did a successful spin-off with Sega's Judgment. Last year I was singing its praises. How it was like underrated, how nobody was talking about it, how it should have been nominated for Game of the Year. You know what I'm saying? That it should have, like, besides Borderlands 3, Borderlands 3 and that Sega's Judgment should have been a talking conversation in terms of Game of the Year, because that's how good it was. I know it's crazy that a spin-off from a different game franchise was so good, it was like worthy of Game of the Year. It was. That's how good it was. And I'm happy to report it did well enough to where Sega wants to do a sequel. So, yes, please, give me some more Sega. Give me more of Sega's Judgment. I want more, please, and thank you. And it became a big, big hit. Doing really well, above expectations. So I'm definitely looking forward to the sequel. So that's another thing. And then Sega believed in it so much, because the thing that I didn't mention, the Yakuza games are only subbed, not dubbed. This one is dubbed. But it had both sub and dub. And the dub is fantastic, of course. So hopefully, maybe with Yakuza 7 on, since it's technically a main protagonist is taking over the franchise. Since Kiryu kind of retired technically from the series. In 6, again, another great game I played. Hopefully they'll add both, not only the original Japanese voice actor, but dub as well. and it's possible because apparently, and it can be done because apparently, with the My Hero Academia game called I think Justice 2, I could be wrong, but the My Hero the first one that came out of My Hero Academia game, then a sequel to that game came out, and apparently in a recent update as of I want to say yesterday, the updates where now there's English in the game. So not only the sub option, the Japanese actors, now you get the dub actors, aka the Funimation actors, for this game as well, and they're all fantastic. And I'm like, yes. So now I went from like, I'm waiting for it to like, I need this game like right now. Anyway, getting off track. Hope they do that for Yakuza 7. So of course, Judge was a hit. So then, what did they do next? Well, they went back to Sonic's roots. Because, like, granted, there are people that like, they like the 3D games, but there's people that want the 2D Sonic games. They want that nostalgic feeling of the 2D Sonic games that was the original Sonic 1, 2, 3, and CD. They wanted that nostalgic feeling, you know what I mean? Thankfully, unlike other gaming companies, when people make fan projects of big properties of like shutting them down and putting seats in the sits, like, hey, you want to work for us? And they got the guy, the guy that make it work on a Sonic game to do Sonic Mania for Sega, ended up being a big hit. And in my opinion, even though Sonic Forces wasn't as good as Sonic Mania, obviously Sonic Mania is clearly the better game out of the two. Sonic Forces is still good. I really enjoyed it. My only beef with it was that it's really. I wish you could do more of the character creation, and other than that, it was like really short, like mad short. I wanted the game to be longer. You could beat it within 1 to 2 sittings at the most. Heck, if you really determine, you can't beat it within 1 sitting. That's how short it was. I mean, granted, it had some free DLC that I'd make it a little bit longer, but excuse me, it only adds like what, maybe 10-15 minutes to it at most. But still, it's still worth getting, especially at a cheap price. Like for $20, grab it. It's worth it. But obviously, grab Mania 2 as well. So just because one is better than the other doesn't mean it sucks. They're both excellent in their own ways. Clearly Mania is a great game, but Sonic Forces is a good game. So they make back-to-back good, back-to-back good to great Sonic games. So that's another thing on their belt. But of course, so then the next thing I did, I haven't played it. I haven't played it yet, but I'm planning to play it soon. Of course, for those of you anime fans, heard of Fist of the North Star. Apparently, the developers that worked on the Yakuza franchise did a first party. Not first party. What I'm saying, they got the license to do a Fist of the North Star game. Not only it was good, but it was great. In fact, probably the most criminally underrated games of that year. Jim Sterling, shout out to the channel, is a very hard critic to please, and he was singing that game's praises. So, if he gives your game high praise, you did your game. That means the game is really, really excellent, and it's definitely having looking forward to that game as well. So that's another thing that they can show they can do, anime adaptations and do it well. And another thing they did, thing that Sega did was bring back to the States Phantasy Star Online. The original one, which I played with Koopa, it hasn't really aged well in my personal opinion. But in terms of the online, the MMO, it was a game that was really ahead of its time. It was ahead of its time. Had it come out now, which to take advantage of now, it would have been a big hit. Now they would have released the original one, but back in the day, they had the graphical power. But what I'm trying to say is, like, the original one came out today, it'd be a big hit. That's what I was trying to say. I know my English I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. A little bit rusty. Please forgive me. So yeah, I again would have been a big hit today had it come out during this time because we have the technology. Because the internet was like still in its walking phases, baby steps. Now internet's like a big necessity now. So again, and thankfully with the sequel they did, took advantage of it. But unfortunately, it was only in Japan for like forever. That's a bigger problem with Sega. They had a lot of great properties that they're just sitting on not really using. But I guess Sega has to do magic because now they're finally using it. Case in point, I guess they made a deal with Microsoft to bring Phantasy Star Online to the States. In case you're wondering, how did it do when, during like, I think when they're like testing the servers, I forget the term it's called. I guess you could call it early access to it. Let's see how many people. I forget the word, but let's say it's early access, and to see how many people would come to get to test the waters. Man, them servers crashed within the hour because too many people were trying to get on. That's how well Phantasy Star Online 2 did. People were looking forward to it, and it had nothing but glowing reviews from both Game Informer and IGN, even fans of the game saying it's the best in the series yet. So, and it's free. And one of those good free online games which I need to play. I have it downloaded, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Hopefully I'll fix that soon. So again, another great old franchise they brought back. Though because it was not only the one I did for GameCube, they had like a PSP one as well, which those were great too. Those are the ones I played with Koopa, unfortunately, due through emulation, but we had no choice because those games are like expensive to buy. / don't exist no more, and their servers are long since dead, so they'll use like fan server / emulation to play it. But still, it was fun. So I can only imagine how fun this is going to be. Next thing they did was brought back Soccer Wars. Because granted, Soccer Wars came to the States twice. Yeah, twice, but it did okay. It wasn't like a bomb. Because obviously they brought it up, they made a third attempt. Because they would have just struck bomb. I think Sega would have not bring it. I already did, I think, okay, but not well enough to continue to bring it. But since after the big success of Phantasy Star Online, 2 tests went really well. Because like I said before, Sega was unsure. That's why they didn't bring it to the States. And then when they test the waters, the servers crashed within the hour. Because so many people wanted to play the game, and they gave it nothing but positive praise. People were like, "Hey, we want your new Soccer Wars." Sega's like, "Okay," they wanted to take the risk because they saw how well Phantasy Star Online 2 did. So when they brought that over, I was doing again. That was doing really well, and I played the game. I played it. It was fantastic. Granted, it's a different type of game. It's not super action oriented, but it's like playing an anime. With some great action scenes. It's a great game. It's not perfect. It's not for everybody, obviously, but for what it is, they did a great job with it, and I love it. I'm also looking. I can't wait to see what they do next with it. And also, the cool thing about it, if you played the game, there's an anime to watch based on the game. So that's a little bonus thing about that. So they brought back another franchise and did well. And of course, last but not least, freaking Streets of Rage. But out of the two, where there's a niche, there's a market for Soccer Wars, and of course there's a market for online MMOs. In fact, those was like one of the first games to popularize it. The beat 'em up genre, unfortunately, is kind of died. Granted, the beat 'em up genre in recent years is slowly, thank God, is making a comeback because besides first person shooters and fighting games, I love beat 'em ups. Sure, it's simple, mindless fun, but it's a great game to play when when you want to you had like a long, stressful day from work, and you just want to pound on some thugs without thinking too hard, and just stress relief without thinking too seriously. A good beat 'em up can help you feel better. And for a while, the beat 'em up franchises, there weren't a lot of good beat 'em ups that were coming out, and the ones that did come out were just awful, trashy Steam games, and the ones that, when they did release it, they were trying they were moving away from what its source material, what made it great, and it just crashed and burned to a half-ass attempt for a quick cash grab just to get money off it based off its name. But it's good to see in recent years though that the beat 'em up genre is like slowly making a comeback, because not only this, but believe it or not, there's a Jay and Silent Bob beat 'em up game out there with NES type graphics. I am not joking. And I heard that did pretty well. This is old school Ninja game. I think it was called Ninja Masters. I could be wrong. It was like an old school beat 'em up game that got like remastered for current consoles, and they're glowing praise on that. And now, but unlike it being a remaster, it's a brand new, from the ground up Streets of Rage game. And I was worried at first because the art style was unique. I did like it. People were kind of like worried about it, iffy about it. It's going to be iffy and cautious, of course. But no worries went away because I beat that game like freaking 4 times. Once by myself, once with my older brother, once with my younger brother, then one with my editor and friend Koopa. So I've beaten that sucker 4 times. That tells you how much and how awesome that game is. Oh, and you have Xbox Game Pass. It's available to play on the Xbox Game Pass. Just to throw that out there, just in case you have that and you're curious about it, it's there to play. So there's that. So again, in my opinion, I think Sega's back, and they're the best they've ever been since the 90's. It's funny how they're getting better, but then you see like, but it's kind of sad at the same time because for the standpoint that, but yet we see companies like Konami and Bethesda and EA, companies that used to make excellent games, are just botching it and just slowly falling apart. Especially Konami. Oh my god. They just canceled Silent Hills, the game, which was going to be amazing. I know it was. The next Metal Gear game was a zombie survival game, which was awful. And of course, Contra. What the hell was that? Oh my god. If anything, they should just outsource it to Way Forward, because they did an excellent job with Contra 4, which I recently got through Amazon, and that game was pretty damn good. So if anything, if they don't want to make another one, but they want to do it themselves, give it the Way Forward. Way Forward's an awesome, underrated developer, in my personal opinion. Just give it to them, because they've done it before, and they nailed it. So I believe they'll knock out the park again, given the chance. But other than that, honestly, like I mentioned before in the video, in my opinion, I did a video on it, talk about this. If you want to click on it, look for it after this, you're more than welcome to. That Konami should just sell their licenses, because they're not doing nothing with them. In fact, if anything, they just sell Contra to Sega. I think Sega would do a great job with it. Besides, with the Capcom, because Jim Sterling mentioned that most of the probably should go to Capcom. Heck, some of it should go to Sega. I think Sega would do awesome. With Contra. I think they do a good job with it. They probably just eventually get Way Forward or give it to people they trust and do a great job. Because like I said before, had Sega stumbled here and there in this generation? Yeah, they tried to do a remake of this old game. I forget what it's called, but I heard it didn't do too well. But other than that, for every miss, just they come up with 2, 3, 4 hits that are not only good to great to Game of the Year worthy. So, in my opinion, Sega is back. But again, like I mentioned before, it's too bad, not only other companies are failing. EA, of course, what they did with Star Wars Battlefront 2, and then Battlefield 5, and Bethesda with Fallout 76. Need I say more? But just, in my opinion, Sega, it's the best it's ever been since the 90's. Though, now on the top of the Sega, I bet you're wondering, Rockingtheblade, with them about those 4 mini Sega Game Gear games that's releasing in Japan. It's a good idea. But one, I want it like how, the original size of the Game Gear, like how it was when you first got it. Make it to where you can charge it like a 3DS. But all those games that I mentioned that were separately, because you had this 4 very, very tiny micro Game Gear games, but each one has 4. There's 4 of them in each. 4 has like 4 games on each one. They should combine all those games, plus add 4 more to make 20, into the one Game Gear, and to really make it stand out. Instead of having one Game Gear that has different games on it, has the same Game Gear with 20 games on it, but you can get it in different colors. So those of you who want those same 20 games in yellow, like me, you can get that. Or in red, you can get that. Or in green, you can get that. Or the original black, you can get that. Or blue, or whatever. Point being, that's the smart thing to do. Instead of making these 4 little, like, itty bitty ones with 4, there's 4 of them with 4 different colors until 4 different games. Just combine all those games, make it how the size of the original. Put those games there, plus add 4 more. Make it even 20. Make it to where you can get in different colors. Bam! And there you go. No, then that'll be it. That will be a hit. This, I mean, I'm sure there's a market for it. I'm sure there's people that will want to get it. Kudos. That is something I want to get though, because at least with Neo Geo and PlayStation Classic, you can mod them to add to this. I wouldn't know how you would mod something like that. You know what I mean? But again, if they would do it like how I mentioned it, then definitely. But how it is right now, no. But see, there's a misstep from Sega, so they're not perfect. But 9 out of 10 times, whoever's leading them is leading them to glory. And ultimately considering how I loved, Streets of Rage 4 and Soccer Wars, even though the Yakuza 7 is more of a turn-based game, I'm gonna give it a chance. Considering how they knocked it out the park these last 2 games, this one might be the new Dragon Quest 7 might be something to look into. And also, before I go, Sega, I know you own Atlas, and I heard Persona 4 Golden is coming to PC, which is great. But can we please get that on Switch, or at least on other consoles, please. Because I played the original one. I want to play the Golden one. Because it had a ton of new content in that one. I want to play that. Please. I would buy that day one. That's all I ask. Alright, guys. I hope you enjoy the video. Oh, and of course, before I go, please put... it's for my friend Koopa and his other friends. Koopa and his friends. Please also, Sega... put Fantasy Star Online on PlayStation. Not just Xbox is great. Don't get me wrong, and I'm glad it's on PC as well for in the States, but put it on PS4 as well. That'd be greatly appreciated as well. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. As always, Rockingtheblade signing out. Hope to see you guys again real soon. Peace out. Have a great day, and hopefully I shouldn't take too long to do the next video. Till then, be safe, God bless, and have a good one.